Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, and be ready to embark on a visual adventure. The P950 is a strong development from its ancestor, with a decent arrangement of updates. In the event that you totally should have 83x optical zoom and for the most part shoot untamed life, its range and quality make it worth considering. In any case, the leader P1000 isn't significantly more costly, and there are better choices for those hankering a movement all-rounder. Span cameras like the Nikon P950 are among the couple of little sensor camera classifications that actually seem okay in the cell phone age. Regardless of not having an APS-C or even 1-inch sensor, their tremendous zooms makes them way more flexible than telephone cameras, especially assuming that you like shooting natural life. The Nikon P950 follows the 5-year-old P900, sitting just underneath Nikon's reach clincher, the Nikon P1000. The P950 has 83x optical zoom, which leaves you with 24 to 2000 mm, same, to play with, similar length as its ancestor, however a touch beneath the 3000 mm comparable presented by the P1000. One more component acquired from the P900 is a similar 16MP f/.3-inch sensor, however there have been a few eminent upgrades. There's another 2.4 meters spec electronic viewfinder, 4K video recording, crude configuration support and 7 FPS shooting. At the end of the day, this is a camera which has been finessed from its ancestor to make it a significantly more alluring all-rounder. Yet, is it enough to entice you to leave behind your money? Construct quality. Thick and clumsy, particularly at full zoom. Heaps of dials and fastens for speedy admittance to specific settings. Screen is completely articulating, yet not touch delicate. The P950 has adhered to the type of the P900, and that implies you get a stout camera which could undoubtedly be confused with a DSLR. Assuming that you're believing that sounds excessively massive for a movement camera, it's memorables critical that if you somehow happened to pack the same central length in DSLR focal points, you'd have to overhaul your baggage recompense. You can zoom the focal point in and out by utilizing either a rocker change up the screen discharge, or an optional switch on the barrel of the focal point itself. When the focal point is at its full expansion, the size of the P950 really duplicates, you will stand apart from a group on the off chance that you're waving this about. It likewise makes the camera genuinely unequal, so you should think about putting resources into a mount on the off chance that you're wanting to make efforts in the nursery of nearby untamed life, or even of the moon. Execution. At the point when the light is great, the P950 concentrates rapidly and by and large precisely. On the off chance that you're searching for a movement camera to use in great light, then in general it's a decent entertainer chiefly. Centering is somewhat more slow at the uttermost reach of the zooming focal point, while in lower light circumstances you'll see that the focal point chases a little before at last locking onto the objective. There are a few events when the focal point neglects to lock onto the objective by any stretch of the imagination, for the most part in low light and with the zoom broadened. The quickest outline rate accessible with the P950 is 7 fps, which is sensibly valuable for moving subjects, yet there are better entertainers available. In the event that you find you're regularly attempting to catch moving subjects, an extension camera like the Panasonic FZ2000 is probably going to be a more reasonable choice for you, because of its 4K photograph usefulness. The P950's cited battery duration has been decreased when contrasted with the ancestor. This is probably a consequence of the greater goal viewfinder, with 290 shots for every charge sighted, contrasted with 360 for the P900. In genuine true use, almost certainly, you'll get more than the cited sum. You can securely anticipate that it should most recent daily of moderate use. Assuming you in all actuality do find you want to charge it while in a hurry, one more improvement from the ancestor is the expansion of USB charging. Picture and video quality. As the P950 involves a similar sensor and focal point blend as the more established P900, the picture quality remaining parts generally something very similar, in spite of the fact that you currently get the increase in crude shooting, to a greater degree toward that later. You could believe that a camera flaunting a similar picture quality as a 5-year-old model is a little disheartening. However, obviously Nikon has focused on specific components of convenience over supporting picture quality. All things considered, the P950's sensor places in a decent execution, particularly in good light. The little sensor battles somewhat in low light, creating pictures which show recognizable grain, so in the event that low light shooting is something you do a great deal of, this isn't an ideal camera for you. Glamour is obvious from around ISO 1600, even at moderately little sizes, so it's ideal to keep to as low an ISO number as could really be expected. At the wide point end of the focal point, you can take shots at f/2.8, which is useful for allowing in heaps of light, yet at the fax end, the greatest gap is f/6.3. Adhering to great light circumstances for your zoom shots is in this way suggested. Please. Decision. Despite the fact that it could seem like the P950 addresses a genuinely delicate development of the current P900 model, a portion of the overhauls are really huge. Having the option to shoot 4K video and in crude configuration are maybe the title highlights. In any case, further developing the electronic viewfinder is one more significant update that works on the general convenience of the P950. All things considered, Nikon hasn't done sufficient to make the P950 as engaging as it very well may be. The greatest oversight must fail to incorporate a touch-delicate screen, while the choice to stay with a solitary UHSI memory card openings likewise addresses a limitation with regards to quick shooting.